So, thank you very much for joining me today, Bastien. Let's talk about some lessons learned from the pandemic.
Well, first of all, of course, the pandemic was an incredible time, a very challenging time for all the airports and for all of us. I think across the world. I think that we've been through very hard times, and I think that everything is not behind us. I think because we might have to expect that probably end of August or September, COVID-19 will come back. But I think that we've learned that we can face this kind of pandemics. That's going to be real. That's a very difficult period for all of us, and we have to adapt our airports, our infrastructure to this. So it means testing passengers, adapting the facilities to be able to adapt to traffic, to open terminals, to close terminals, and to be very flexible. And of course, to continue to keep going with the business, protecting the employees and the passengers. So this is what we have learned from this pandemic, I think, and I think it will be very valuable because I expect. This is my perspective, but we are very vulnerable to future pandemics in the coming years. It can be next year, it can be in 5 years or in 10 years, but this is something we have to be prepared, and I think that we are more prepared today, of course, than we were 2 years ago, actually.
Absolutely, and from the pandemic, there's been a surge in new passenger expectations.
Yeah.
How are you meeting these new expectations?
Well, I would say it's always complicated to anticipate this kind of situation. Before the pandemic, at Charles de Gaulle, we had about 75 million passengers a year with a growth of about 3 to 4%. We were about to build another terminal, and in a few weeks, in a few days, all the strategy has to be modified to adapt to this. And we have been keeping adapting to the needs of the passengers, to protect more the passengers regarding the health. Passengers were expected hand dispensers. That was completely new to us in the airports. They were also expecting to be tested, to have the capacity to be tested at the airport. Rapid tests, antigenic tests, etc., PCR tests, and also to adapt the passenger flows in our airports because there were some additional tests and additional verification done by the airlines, done by the airports, done by the police forces, and of course the ambition was to maintain reasonable waiting times at borders, bringing this additional verification to the passengers. I think it was a very big challenge. Charles de Gaulle was nominated yesterday Best European Airport, number 6 in the world, and that's an incredible achievement and a recognition for the work we've been doing for the past, I would say, 2 years. And we are also a 5-star airport, 5-star Skytrax airport regarding sanitary health, and it's incredible. And today, this is what passengers expect, because as we say, it will probably continue. The testing centers will be operative in the airports, and this is something we have to be prepared. One of the big challenges is when you see the situation in many major airports around the world, especially in Europe. You see the situation in Amsterdam, Heathrow, Manchester, and other airports where you see these very long queues. Today I read that some airports in Europe had to cancel 25, 30, 40% of the flights during the summer. It's incredible. And today I think the passengers cannot understand that, okay, we can travel, it's possible now, I want to travel, this is a summertime in Europe, and no, I can't because the flight is cancelled, because the experience lived at the airport is terrible. So today this is the very big challenge we've got ahead for the summer, because you see the long queues at airports, and to make sure that we make all these passengers travel in good conditions, and also to protect everything for the passengers. So this is the summer challenge for all the airports.
Absolutely, and how can digitalization play a huge role in passenger experience?
Yeah, absolutely. As I often say, airports are more and more complex environments. You've got millions of passengers, you've got different processes with the luggage, with the immigration, security checks, road access, and etc. It's very complicated. Then you've got a lot of stakeholders. You've got the airport operators, of course, you've got the airlines, you've got the police forces, and etc. And most of these stakeholders might have different constraints and not the same objectives. So sometimes it might be not compatible between the different constraints. So today, as an airport operator, it's very complex, and I want to know where we should put the money, where should put the resources and the focus to improve our operations. And because it's very complex, we need the data. We need to go into the data. We've got so much data available at the airports for the waiting times and etc. And it's very important to make sure that we analyze this and we are able to understand what the data speak to us. And it's very important to this. So we need the data. We need people and tools to analyze the data. And when we've got this, of course, then we need to define the strategy and to make sure that we will be able to implement new processes or to modify our processes. So today, this is what we are currently doing. We're working with the IT guys. We keep developing and implementing captors in the airport, and of course respecting also the regulatory framework, because of course in Europe you don't do all that you would like to do. Of course we as Europeans we protect the privacy, and it's also very good. So we move at the same time with the regulatory framework to make sure that we of course respect the privacy of the employees and the passengers as well. But it's a hot topic. Big data is a hot topic these days for the airports, especially with the constraints we have with the queues, with waiting time. And I think that we have lost probably 2 years of data with the COVID-19, because with the machine learning, we keep learning and learning. And today it's quite difficult because the machine learning are completely lost with year 2020, 21. It's not what we had before. But traffic will come back, as we say. We will reach probably 100% of the return probably in 24. For instance, at Charles de Gaulle, we will have maybe 90% of the traffic during the summer, and it's an airport with peak hours. We might expect 110% during the peak hours. So it's going to be a very good summer. Very enthusiastic about the summer, also with the recognition of the price, and this is something we will share with the community based on the work we've did and we've done, and also to be ready for the summer. But we are ready for the summer, and we invite all the people connecting at Charles de Gaulle to have a very good experience and to travel and to be able to go from a point to another.
Absolutely, and perhaps we could talk about some upcoming trends that you're seeing.
Well, the trends, I would say, we are, I think, maybe due to the COVID-19, some topics are again on the table. They were on the table before, but they are even more on the table. First of all, this is a decarbonization of the aviation. Today, you see, it's a very hot topic. How to make sure that we keep growing, a license to grow for the airports, for the airlines, but at the time protecting more and more the environment and reducing the CO2 emissions. So there's going to be a very big challenge for all of us, for all the airports and the airlines. So it means that we will have to invest in hydrogen facilities, also in sustainable aviation fuels for the airlines, to make sure that we reduce very significantly the CO2 emissions. And the other one is also related to innovation and to the drones and flying taxis. As you probably know, in 24, Paris will host the Olympic Games, the Summer Olympic Games, and we're going to have from Charles de Gaulle flying taxis from the airport to downtown Paris. So it's going to be the start of this new means of transportation. A lot of challenges for security, for safety and everything. but we're going to be ready, and it's going to be an incredible, let's say, a window to promote this, and that's going to be the start of new means of transportation that we will see everywhere in the streets around in the future. So we're very enthusiastic because we know that the era is going to change. We had to change because of COVID-19, because it accelerated a lot of things, and today this is a big challenge, but we are ready for this, and it means that we will keep growing. I would say maybe more responsibly, if I can use this word, but it's going to be absolutely fantastic in the coming 5 to 10 years to be ready for this.
It's very exciting. And you touched upon sustainability, so let's talk about some sustainability initiatives that you have in place already.
Groupe ADP, my company, operates airports in Paris, but not only in Paris. We've got airports also in Africa, in South America, in Asia, in Eastern Europe, in Turkey. So it means that today we are able to use the benefits of this network. It means that we are working with TAV. This is the Turkish airport operator in Turkey. They've got TAV technology, so it means that we use the benefits of the knowledge we have in the different regions of the world. We operate also airports in India with GMR, and so it means that we operate airports in different regions of the world where the trend is different. For instance, in India, the growth is incredible. You have an incredible growth. You can build airport from scratch. It's different, of course, in Europe. So the trend and the challenges are different. But thanks to this, we are able to get the best of the different regions, to talk with our partners and to make sure that we're going to be successful not only in Paris, in Europe, but also in the different regions. So the growth is mainly in India, in Southeast Asia. In Europe, we know that we are very focused on decarbonization and CO2 and flying taxis, and something else in South America and Africa. But all together, we go further.
Absolutely. And what can airports do to secure their place in the future?
Sorry, again?
What can airports do to secure their place in the future?
Well, what we've been through with COVID-19, this is something that I think nobody would have bet on this. But the proof that it was real. It was very strong, very difficult times for everybody. So it means that we have been experiencing a continuous growth since the 40s or the 50s, and today we need to integrate and to think that it can be different actually, and that we are vulnerable to this. So, but it's just a call of nature, and we know that we need to stabilize the things. And I'm sure that because of thanks to the expertise, thanks to the people we have, thanks to the good relationship we have with all the partners, the airport community, I'm sure that we're going to be able to go through this and to more anticipate the different crises we can have. In the past, there can be economical crises. We know that there is a geopolitical crisis also in Eastern Europe that can jeopardize the operations in some airports. So we need to anticipate this because airlines are also very vulnerable, and of course the airports are also vulnerable. So I think that today everything is in place after COVID-19 to build on new pillars and to make sure that we will keep growing and bring the benefits for the community. Not only for our community of the airport, but also for the people living around and for all the travelers, for the passengers, because so many passengers are willing to travel and to securely, but also on time, and also, of course, to protect even better the environment. So I think everything is here. I've seen very interesting things during the conference related to the future, and I think that the technology providers are also aware of these new challenges, and I think that together, operational guys and the technical guys, we're going to be able to build something coherent and that will allow us to keep working together.